Hi, folks. Larry Rolla here. I'm here tonight with my pal, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hey,
And
Larry.
we've been trying for the last half hour to get Michael Lachance on, and he gets the link, but he don't know when he hits the link. What happens, Joe, when he hits the link? Nothing, right?
It says that his device is not compatible with this StreamYard or something like that.
So if anybody knows how to fix that, just I'll put the comments up. Just comment on here or call me or something so we can get Mike on here. We've been trying for the last half hour to get him on.
Mike and his wife are trying drastically.
Yeah, but I don't understand it because everybody that I had on, all I did was send the link. They hit the link and they're on. All he needs is the computer with the camera, right? He has that.
Matter of fact, he started on a computer. It didn't come on. Then he went to the iPhone, and his wife's helping him. And it's let's hope he comes on because he was looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody else was also.
Yeah, we'll get him. Somebody will call. See, Carmen says all phones are compatible. See, she says all phones are compatible. So it should work, especially on his iPhone, but it should work on the computer.
Maybe somebody who's savvy with this stuff can give Mike a call.
Well, I can't give his phone number out.
But you like your friend that was there last week. Maybe he could call him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me get what's Mike's phone number? Let me write it down. Just hang on, guys. We'll figure this out. What's Mike's?
I don't want to give it over the air.
Okay, yeah, all right. I got it. I got it here. Wait a minute. Okay. Between me and you, we got no shot of everything going right.
What are you going to do, Larry?
No chance. Okay, let me go to contacts. See if he had a 3-year-old kid in the house there.
He said he wished his grandkids were there. They would have.
All right. I'm going to call. I'm going to get my friend. Okay. I got his number here. I got all producers and everybody looking in. This is like an audition. 83. Okay. Now I'm going to call my friend Tom.
Is that the guy that was there last week that was knocking on your door?
No, that was the other guy. But this guy I'm going to call, he knows everything.
Okay.
This guy knows everything. Now I just have to hope he's home. Okay. I'm going to put him on the speakerphone so you could hear.
Yeah, but don't give Mike's phone out over, No,
I know.
All right.
Hi, Tom. I have a problem. I'm live on the podcast, and I have Joe here. And Mike Lachance, we sent him a link, and he has the link, but his phone says that it's not compatible or something. Do you know how he can get on there? If I give you his phone number, can you call him and tell him what to do?
I don't know. Have you sent him the link?
I sent him the.
Can you send me the link?
Oh yeah.
Send it to tdukich123@gmail.
Wait a minute. Hold it now. Wait a second.
Did you hit the did you go to the end of the link and hit enter?
Oh yeah. I did everything right because I sent both of them. I sent one to Joe and one to Michael, and they both got the link.
All right, send me the link. See if I can open that up first.
All right, now, what's your email again? Tom?
Dukich, DUKICH 123.
Okay, I got it right here. And now let me get the link. Okay. I just sent it to you. Now he got the link too, but it keeps saying that his phone is not it's not compatible. He can't get on stream.
He should be fine, but say he has an iPhone. You know, he started on a computer, then he went to the iPhone.
Yeah, he went to the iPhone. It's still not working.
Well, let your friend call him, and you know.
So I have the link here, StreamYard, blah blah blah. It's hyperlink.
Now,
does he have enter in the studio? Enter all cookies. Well, my can't access. Wow.
you can't get on neither?
I'm holding on. Let's check your camera and mic. Okay. Check 1, 2. Check 1. I don't know. You. I don't have. What is it? Into the studio. I don't have no idea, Tom. So, why is my camera not working?
Your camera's not working, Tom.
Right, my camera.
Now, I want Martin Scorsese and all you heavyweight producers out there. Just hang on. Just be patient. You're talking with
two old geezers.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Why my camera's not working?
Now,
Two
your
broken
camera.
down, 4 claimers.
All right. So we got to find. Let's see if anybody here. Oh, wait. Maybe. Let's see.
What kind of phone does he have?
He has what kind of
That's
phone
an
does he
iPhone. They have
have? An iPhone. And Anthony DeCero says, make sure his ad blocker is off. Whatever the hell that means. Oh, boy. Comment says, call Roosevelt. He may be in the paddock.
I don't understand why I have to get the StreamYard as a guest. Install this guy. Oh, Jesus.
Maybe that's what Mike has to do, everything that you're doing, because you used to be able to come right on.
Well, I never came on through my phone, right?
Could somebody call Mike? Could somebody call Mike? But he's waiting to hear from somebody.
No, nobody call. Why don't you call him right now and say, make sure his ad blocker is off? What the hell does that mean?
No, that's for the computer.
Oh, that's for the computer.
Computer browser.
All right, so he got an iPhone, so it should work, right?
Yeah, I'm on an iPhone.
Oh yeah, hold on. I wonder if I get the StreamYard as a guest. Why is my camera not working on? You see, it says my camera's not working. I mean, I'm trying to call in from my iPhone. You know, I don't do the iPhone for the video, but it does have capability. Right.
Mike, why don't you call Mike, Joe? Call Mike and say, Mike, just hang on. We're working on it. We'll get him on sooner or later.
All right.
Call him up. I'll take you off the screen.
You're on a call. All you need to do is enter the studio. You know, you might not. Maybe he can't talk to you on the phone when he tries to go in.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe he has to hang up the. Are you talking to him on the phone while you're doing it?
No.
No.
Matter of fact, you're blocking me from calling him, Larry. Let me see if I.
Well, wait. I'm going to take you off, Joe. I'm going to send you his phone number, Tom.
Okay, what's his name, Joe?
No, his name is Michael Lachance.
Okay.
And I'm going to hang up from you and text you his phone number.
There you go. Good deal. Bye.
you ever see such a screw up as this? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I see you, Tom.
Nice. And it works when I hang up my phone. I'm not on a phone call at the same time. So let me go and call him up and see how he's doing. So mine works. So I'm hanging up.
Okay. Anyway, another day in the life of Larry Rolla. Oh boy. Trish, I can't talk now. We're trying to figure something out.
I think Mike's wife, she says she can see you, but you can't see her.
All right, goodbye.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Larry, he could see us.
Yeah, well, my friend Tom is calling him, so tell him to pick up the phone.
All right, so I'll come back on.
All right. Well, we made a little progress. Michael could see us, right? Michael could see us, but we can't see him. Okay. Now, Robert De Niro just called and says he can only hang on another couple of minutes.
Yeah, he called me too. He said,
You know what I was thinking? What I was thinking is if this thing becomes, even if it becomes a movie instead of a TV series, or maybe both, all the harness drivers, because there's going to be a lot of scenes in diners and restaurants and everything where and all of these guys can come on. You know, every one of these guys. I know Ronnie Pierce. He said that he says he still has his colors in his helmet and he's ready to go whenever I call him.
I got mine too. I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm sending
boy.
you some Roseville Raceway tapes.
Yeah, so all of these guys, I got to get a hold of all of these guys, but we got to figure out why, because I mean, are we going to have to try to practice like 2 days before to make sure that we can get on? I mean, it's crazy. All these young kids, they do it all day long on their phone.
That's what Mike says. I wish my grandkids were here.
Well, Tom is with them now, so maybe they could figure something out.
Well, as long as he can see you, it's progress.
Anyway, let me tell you. I got a couple of there's an outfit out there called Horse Blog, and I just ran across it last week when I was looking up some information.
Horse Plop? Horseplop.com?
Yeah. Is that
That's been on for a long time. And it's a lot of negative, you know.
Horseblog.com. But there's a guy on there called what the hell's his name? Fugazi or something. And he says a lot of stuff. It's like almost everything I say I have to prove. I have to verify.
It's a bad website because it's all these guys hiding behind stage names, and they say all negative stuff. I get a lot of negative stuff on there, especially since I'm on your show. I get these things.
Oh, you watched that?
Well, people call me and say, "Oh, Horse Plop said this and Horse Plop said that." And,
What's the name of it? Horse Plop?
Horse Plop, PLOP, like horse manure.
Horse Plop. Okay, because this guy, I just ran across it the other day, and this guy says, let me see if I could find it. I can't find it. I don't know how to find it.
Don't even waste your time because it's all negative. You know, it's just all negative lies.
But anyway, he says something like, he says, I was racing a Monticello from 76 until 78 or 2000 or 80 or whatever he says, and you never approached me. So it's like everything that I say, I have to prove to these guys. Now, first of all, in 76, my reign was just about over. And that's first of all. Second of all, if I didn't know you for the last 20 years, I would never approach you to do anything. And then he says, I think it's the same guy. He says that I was a minor player compared to Hervé. What the hell does he know about Hervé?
Everybody's a minor player compared to Hervé.
But it's just unbelievable that they say things that you almost have to prove everything that you say to these people that are listening. And I never knew about that. I wish I could find it, because he said a couple of things. His name is Fugazi, so that kind of tells you right there.
Fugazi means fake, don't it? Like a Fugazi diamond's a fake diamond.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
He's a fraud too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said something about me the other day too about.
Oh, you look at that stuff?
No, my son sent it to me, and he says, "Oh, look what somebody said about you." I know that's not true, Pop. That's not true. I said, "Michael, don't worry about this horse plop." I said, "It's you know what it is? It's all jealous people who had something to do with the business that want to knock you for some reason or another, and they knock anybody that did good."
This guy said he may need to have a YouTube account, or at least log in. Maybe that's true. Does he have a YouTube account? I don't think you have to have a YouTube. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I have one, but
well, Tom will figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, he could see us. He said so.
Yeah, so that means all right. So now we just got to figure out the voice part. We'll get him on. Just hang in there, guys. What could we say? You want to sing a song or something, Joe? Let's see.
What do you want to sing? The YMCA.
George Anthony was the king of Yonkers Raceway. Do you remember this guy, George Anthony?
Yeah, I remember George. Sure.
George Anthony called himself the king. He was.
Yeah, he's in. I think he's in Thoroughbreds now, and I also think he was the leading trainer in Yonkers from one meet. He was a track announcer somewhere.
Yeah.
He filled in for, he's a good guy.
He was a nice enough guy. I think
he was a good talker.
Yeah, and he didn't know if he wanted to be an announcer. He didn't know if he wanted to be an announcer or a trainer or whatever. Let's see what this guy says. It would be terrific if your movie comes together the way you want it. Yeah, it would be. Right now, I'm having. First, you have nobody that's interested, and then you have two people. The only good thing is one person, one company wants to make it a movie, the other one wants to make it a TV series, and that's what I'm going through right now. Where do I go? Who do I go with? Can both be done at the same time? Can one be done first? With the TV series, you make a whole lot more money. With the movie, you make one. You make all your money right up front. I don't know.
Whatever it is.
I don't know. Let's see. Call Julie Crone. I have a story about Julie Crone. I'm gonna tell that story, not now, because Michael might come on any time now. But I have a great story about Julie Crone. So one day when I'm talking about nothing, somebody call in and say, tell the story about Julie Crone. Okay, it's a terrible sight. That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all negative stuff. It's just, people got nothing better to do. They must be really bored people.
Okay, Michael Lachance, I see you, but you can't see me. We're waiting, Michael.
We're waiting for you, Mike.
We'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed. Let's see this one. Mike Lachance, call the track operator. Mike Lachance, call the track operator. Vito. Let's go down some of these things. Maybe somebody has something. Okay, Sundance. Hi, Larry, Mike, and Joe.
Hi, Sundance.
Say all phones are compatible. And both Android and iPhone. I don't know why he's having a problem. Hi, everyone. Hi. That's that girl.
You got to take her to lunch, right?
No, that's the other one. That's make sure his ad blocker is off. Call Roosevelt. Maybe he's in the paddock.
That would be nice if Roosevelt was still open.
Resend the link. I already sent it twice, Rob, and he got it. And now he's saying that he could see me. So they'll figure it out. If Tom can't figure it out, they'll figure it out. It's possible that you may have to text the link. I did. He got the link. Okay, this is going to get jiggy. It's already jiggy, Jesse.
Jiggy.
He may need to have a YouTube account. Okay, Vito. We did that one. How's Florida? Yeah. Yeah, his wife says that we could see that they could see us, but we can't see them. They'll figure it out. Russians blocking the the Russians are blocking it.
It might be. Mike's a Trump man.
Gary D, you can't get a break with that computer, Larry. You're right. But Gary, I'm used to it. My whole life has been like that. Everything is like climbing up Mount Everest. Nothing comes easy. Anthony says Joe's voice is a little low. Well, it's always low because he's on his phone, and
Put my volume up a little. Maybe it is low. Oh yeah, it was a little low. It was. Thanks, Anthony.
All right.
Is that better, Anthony?
Yeah, it is better, Joe.
Okay, good.
George Anthony was, okay.
Everyone can see and hear you. Okay.
Did you ever race at Garden State Park? Yeah, did you, Joe? I raced there. I don't remember racing there, but people tell me I raced there. In fact,
you know what? I might have raced there once or twice. I really don't remember.
Benny Bartola, when he became a judge, Benny Bartola became a judge at the Meadowlands. He was a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And when he became a judge, I called him to congratulate him. And we were talking, and he told me that I drove a horse for him and won 7 in a row at Garden State. Now, I don't ever remember racing at Garden State, and I certainly don't remember winning 7 races in a row for Benny Bartola. But
hey, he would remember it.
Yeah, but I don't remember. You know what I do remember? But I think it was at Atlantic City. What I remember staying at the Rex Motel. Now,
Yeah.
either was that Atlantic City or Garden State?
You told me you used to stay at a place called the Rex Motel in between the Meadowlands and Garden State or somewhere.
I don't remember.
I don't know where it is.
Julie Crone knocked out Joe Bravo with a right hook. I wonder if that's true, because Joe Bravo had a natural weight. He was a natural. I think his natural weight was maybe 103 pounds, something like that. So Julie Crone was probably bigger than him. But Joe Bravo, well, who knows? It's a good story I got about Julie Crone. Dave Schneider, just have him call you cell phone and put her on speaker.
We want to see him.
We want to see him. Well, we'll get. The sad part is we can't even have them next week because it's Thanksgiving, right? Yeah.
Are you going to switch the day next week?
I don't know. It all depends. If we can't get Michael on, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it the day before Thanksgiving or whatever day is good for him, and I'll just make the announcement, something, because what I think I want to do, and it all depends how this thing goes with Michael. I know that I know that a lot of guys called me, and a lot of guys want to come on, and it would be great if I could have. It'd be great if I could have a lot of them, especially all the Hall of Famers, come on, and then just get guys that should be in the Hall of Fame that are not, that might be, and I'd like to have them all come on, and
Yeah,
because
that would be good. People are getting tired of me.
the I don't know, but these guys like Campbell and O'Donnell and Michael and Catello and on and on and on and on. They the business has gone to hell. No fault of theirs, but they were in the game when it, and they were the ones that made the game exciting. They all gave up their stable of horses right around 80, 81, 82, 83, and they all went into catch driving. And that's when the game really, really started to move along. And that excited.
Everybody used to be a trainer driver, and then it just went from training or driving.
Yeah, I know. Even Michael, I was going to talk about that. That I think he gave up. Michael always had 30, 40, 50 horses, and right around 83, 84, he gave them up. He was getting too many catch drivers, driving nine horses a night,
Yeah, Mike Patrick probably has about 30 or 40 horses. Mike still works with him to helps him out. And I remember Mike came to Roosevelt in around 1982. And when he came, I used him right away because I know what a good driver he was, and he always thanked me for that. He said,
I looked up his record, and I'm going to show it when he gets on. If he gets on, I'm going to show it. It's unbelievable. It's really.
He got over 10,000 wins, over 90 million purses made. He won, I think, 3 or 4 Hamiltonians.
Unbelievable.
A great career.
Anthony says he raced against In Clover at Garden State, and that was my horse, In Clover, so I guess I did race at Garden State. Would Joe rather win the Hambo if it meant Kamal?
No, that's like saying, would you rather give up the country or would you rather win the Hamiltonian?
I have it on DVD.
We'll keep the country.
He has that race with me in Clover on DVD. That's good. Okay, the Rex Motel was near Atlantic City, I think Egg Harbor. That's where I stayed, at the Rex Motel. Get Gene
Renee.
Oh, Renee. He was supposed to come on. He was going to come on. And the last minute he called me and he says, Larry, would you get mad at me if I didn't come on? I guess he was, who knows, but I could never get mad at him.
No, Renee's a good
guy. Got a bad deal. And another guy, if he didn't get in trouble and just stayed straight, he would have been a Hall of Famer too. Just a good kid. Tough break. Stayed there summer 71. I don't know when I stayed there. When is the last day of Freehold? They should have a ceremony, maybe bringing back some drivers from the past. I got notified by Freddie Hudson that he was doing something about he's going to have some kind of, I don't know what it is, but
A funeral for freehold.
about freehold, and I think they're going to have a bunch of guys that go down there. If I'm around, I'll go down. If he's going to host it, if it's going to be at the track, I'll take a ride down.
Yeah, you're in Jersey anyway, right? So
Yeah, and all I have to do is I may have to go to California. I may go to California. The only thing that's holding me up now is there's storms all over the United States, and I don't want to get caught in any traps trying to get there before Thanksgiving. And so maybe I'll wait till after Thanksgiving, because I know what's going to happen. It'll be your flight got delayed or your flight got canceled and you can't get another flight. And I'm at the airport with 15,000 people. That'll be me. When was the last day of freehold? They should have a ceremony bringing back some of the drivers. I think they might do that. Tell Anthony he asked about John Corin when he was on. He retired a police captain in 2022 from Woodridge, about 3 miles from the Meadowlands. Well, Anthony's watching, so he'll say that. I think I remember that guy. Stockman, sure. Matt Gates. How that works out with
sure,
you.
Matt Gates, how'd that work out for you? I guess you're talking to me.
Larry, any shot at Liberace playing Joe in the movie? Okay, there's another wise ass.
Liberace?
Liberace playing Joe in the movie. Now, I don't know if this is the guy Christos, but let me tell you something, Christos. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult for guys like me and Joe. You got to listen to this, Christopher, or whatever your name is. It's very, very difficult. We both grew up basically the same way in the streets. And if somebody ever said that, and I try to be so respectful all the time, but it's getting really where fucking jerk offs like you keep calling in with this stupid shit. Now, it might be the first time you're doing it, but let me tell you something. It wouldn't end well for you if you ever said that in front of me or in front of Joe. Me, maybe you might survive. This is the first time I'm getting a little shitty on this podcast, because I tried so hard, and other podcasts have people that dismiss jerk offs like yourself. And I feel myself my stomach is starting to get in a fucking knot.
Don't worry, Larry. They hide behind the keyboard. Face
Just
to
do me a
face, they're
favor.
like mice.
Christos or whatever your name is. If you meant that to be funny, it's not funny. And if you're going to keep watching, just be respectful. That's all.
What is he insinuating, Liberace? I don't play piano. I'm not gay. So what are you insinuating there, Christos Sarantos? Why don't you go back to your diner?
Ah, God. All right, Christos, do yourself a favor. Just go someplace else or be respectful. We hate to lose you, but just be respectful.
It makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all what you said.
It's so bad. The old days were better because you didn't get this kind of shit, because there was no emails, there was no nothing. If you had to say something to a guy, you had to see him. And if you didn't see him and you said it to somebody else, there'd be a knock on your door, and a lot of that shit wouldn't happen.
There'd be a knock on his jaw, not on his door.
No, I can't see him. He sent word that he could see us, but we can't see him. So
No, I mean, he's not in the background waiting.
no. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's you. Yeah, I see you.
So we need to. You don't have to let me in the meeting. I can see you.
Okay. Well, anyway, I hung up the phone on you, so you can't get Mike on. What's the problem with Mike? Oh shit! I disconnected.
Yes, I cannot. I don't know if he let me in the show. All right, so I have to try and get Mike on. So I think what you should do is log out and try and sign back in again.
Who, me or Mike?
Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I am here. I'm going to.
Okay, they're trying. They're trying.
We got
We gotta
time.
leave. We gotta leave. I'm already cooled down a lot. So, Christos, just take it easy. Just
Yeah.
you probably.
There's women on the show. Let's not get
Yeah.
out of hand here.
Yeah. So just
Mrs. Lachance is on the other end. Let's have some respect.
yes. Okay. So we're gonna leave Christos alone. Okay. In the meantime, here's Mike. Wait a minute. Add Mike to stage. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Marshall calls the paces. Come on, Mike. I see it says Mike. I see his name.
I see his name and I hit where it says, so maybe Tom's working with him, so maybe it'll happen.
He'll get there. By Thanksgiving, we'll have him.
I asked this before. Any news update on Brian Sears? No, I don't. You hear anything about Brian?
Nothing.
Me neither.
Did you get in touch with Ronnie Pierce?
No, I didn't get in touch with him. I really never tried. I sent him a text on his Facebook account, but the last time he used that, I think, was 2 years ago. So he probably never got it. But Kurt Watson says that his friend is staying with him wherever they are in Arkansas or someplace. And here's what we got. Okay. Now we just can't hear,
right.
but we can't hear you.
You made it, Mike.
No, we can't hear him.
You got your speaker on, Mike?
We can't hear you.
Your microphone muted?
Maybe he has to press the speaker.
On the bottom. Can you hear me?
We hear you, yeah.
Damn it. Let's see. Freehold. 7-6. Here we go.
We're making progress.
Just fun. Mm-hmm. All right, 7-7. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Okay, are you on the meeting using the 7-7 phone or the 7-6 phone?
7-7.
So when I called you, it just turned you off. Now, on the bottom of the screen should be a microphone mute button, that kind of stuff. So I got to hang up this and see if you come back. I'll call you back on 7-6.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only been 40 minutes and we
All
still
right.
haven't. It's been an hour because we started at 7:30 trying to get him on. So it's been an hour and 10 minutes and we still can't figure this thing out. But Tom will figure it out. He'll eventually get on and then we'll start from that point. And poor Michael probably has to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Don't worry, Mike's a tough old bird.
Walter Case would be a very interesting guest. He could fill an hour with his life story. I was just starting to talk about that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a hold of. I know I already have Billy O'Donnell already said that he would come on. I would love to have him on, and so would he with Ron Pierce.
Pierce, yeah.
They obviously got along very well, and and Ronnie Pierce would be terrible to have on alone because I'm not good at this. And if you ask Ronnie a question, he gives you these one-word answers, and then he stares at you. He has eyes. Ronnie Pierce has eyes like
you
yeah, same kind of eyes. He just looks at you. And I remember a couple of times when he's on a horse and maybe the trainer's giving him some instructions. He looks at him like he's nuts.
most of them are.
He just looks at him with them eyes. So Ronnie Pierce would have to come on with somebody like Billy O'Donnell because Billy's a funny guy. But Billy's a funny guy, and he not only has stories, but he remembers them all from years and years and years back. He's a funny guy, and naturally, and it's tough when you get them all on because every time you have somebody on, you say like one of the best, one of the best, one of the best. They're all one of the best. They're all just the top wrong guys. Every one of them.
Hey, the Jersey, New York circuit, we had the greatest drivers.
Yeah.
In one place at one time. It was amazing.
And the ones that were good someplace else always wound up coming here.
Right.
There were a couple that were really good that wind up leaving. That one young kid, I raced with his father. He went back up to Buffalo because he was a great driver, a good kid, but couldn't get any good mounts because Campbell O'Donnell and all of them, they took him up and he wound up getting the fit. What the hell was his name? He's a good kid. Wind up going up to Buffalo and winning all of his time. Hello.
You should see Mike backstage right now. Can you let him in? You don't have to let me in. Just let him in.
Okay. Can you hear us, Mike?
There you go.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Tom, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Good to see you, Mike.
Okay. It only took us an hour and a half to get you on, but we got you on. What was the problem?
It's very small, but we're on.
Make us a little bigger, Larry.
Wait a minute.
Don't
Wait.
touch anything. No.
My wife says,
No,
don't touch.
that's as big as it gets.
All right.
That's as big as it gets. Let me get rid of. No, Mike, the other way. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Mike.
I guess you don't have to see me that close. You want to know something? I'm old.
You look great, Mike.
I thought you're in your 70s. I thought you were younger than that because
No, I'm going to be 74 next month.
Yeah, the first time I ran into you, the first time we ever raced together was in 71. I think you were 20 years old. You showed up at Lincoln Downs with Henry Filion and yourself. That was the first time I think I ever met you. You were just a kid.
And Larry, your barn was across the way from me, and you had a white Eldorado. A white or a red Eldorado with the white interior, or vice versa. And you were just across the way from me, from my barn. And when I saw you, like a good-looking guy, and the little tainted glasses, and some beautiful women around you all the time.
You know what? I'm glad we brought that up just for one reason. I told a story, and I don't want to make this about you, about me, because it's got to be about you. I just want to tell this story because I say a lot of things on this podcast. This is about the 110th one I did already. And I said in the beginning, I said a lot of things I went through in my lifetime because it's going to be in the movie, it's going to be in the TV series, and I just tell these stories, and then these writers write them down because there's a lot that's not in the book. But anyway, I told a story once about a horse I bought from Mike Agliotti. I won't go through the whole deal, that I nerved him real high just basically to save his life. And that was the horse that I won with at Lincoln Downs. And the only one that could verify that outside of me, because everybody else in that race is dead, is, do you remember the race that I won with Theodore Diamond at Lincoln Downs?
I remember that race like if it was yesterday.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
finished second, and the only thing I think the race won 57-4, but it was a track record.
Yeah, it was. I think I broke Adios Butler's world record that day. And if I say it, if you remember this, I think I had the outside position, and I think I left a quarter in 26-1, I think. And then after that, I let somebody go, and then I got locked in at the head of the stretch. I was all jammed up, and then I got free somehow, and I win. And the reason.
And I finished second with a mare. I had a wonderful mare at the time. She was the best around, because I raced her in Foxborough, and they raced her against the filly, but just a couple of times they didn't even want to race against her with the old mares. So I had to race against the boys. Her name was Oneida Jessie.
I remember that horse. Gee.
Yeah, I finished second to Larry with Theodore Diamond.
I remember Anita Jesse.
Yeah.
What a memory he has. That was in 1971. Now, I
71.
remember 1971, the first meet they ever had at Lincoln Downs. And the reason I'm saying this is because when I told that story, because it was a story that was in my book, because that was the horse I nerved above the knee. And to get him back to the races, which I shouldn't have done, I put a keg shoe on him, and he had 5 pounds of weight on the 1 foot and everything. And then finally, and I had to put him in the race, because if you remember, the race secretary called me in and he said, listen, you put this horse down on your application, and there's 4 guys out of here. You, Henry Fillion, Bucky Day, and one other guy. And I can't make that race go unless I have one more horse. And that's why I had to enter him, even though he never raced in 6 months, because I nerved him high. But anyway, that's what. Now, before we go on, I have to do this, because for me, and I was amazed, Mike, when first let me say this. About a month ago, I don't even know if you know this, Joe. About a month ago, Michael called me up. I was in a dog park with my dog, and I have nothing to do, just waiting and waiting. And Michael called me up, and he says, Larry, I just want you to know, he says, you're doing a great job, and this and that. And it was so nice to hear, because you know, the worst thing in the world is when you're alone and you're forgotten and everything. It just gets very depressing. And the good thing I have my dog. So that was so nice to hear. And then when he agreed to come on here, I'm trying to remember everything. And I'm gonna put on the screen a couple of things. But before I do that, I just want to say this: Michael Lachance is probably one of the nicest guys, not only in the horse business, in the whole world. I could probably name 100 guys that he's helped. A truly legitimate guy that's was so good at what he did. Not only one of the top guys in the business as far as training goes, but as far as driving goes. And he didn't just drive against guys like me. He drove against the best in the world, and was one of, if not the top, one of the top. And I'm going to have the other guys on the show, I hope. Now, I can't go on and say everything that he did, because I can't remember that much. But what I'm going to do is, it took me, because I'm not good at this stuff. I'm like you, Mike. It took me, one day I did a whole podcast and I forgot to hit live. But anyway, so the people watching that don't know you, this will introduce you, and then we'll just start talking. Okay, here's the first thing. Michael Lachance is a retired harness driver, widely recognized as one of the best drivers of all time. His outstanding career began in 1967 in Quebec City. At retirement, he had won 10,253 races and purses totaling $187,710,149. Now, here, I'm going to read this because I can't remember it. Let me put my other glasses on so I could see this. That's what happens when you get old. Okay. The holder of leading driving titles at major racetracks in Canada and the United States, Lachance began driving harness horses as a young boy, and in 1967 began driving professionally at the age of 17 in Quebec City, Quebec. He went on to win driving championships at Blue Bonnets Raceway in Montreal, Quebec. His success in Canada led him to move to the major racetracks in New York City area in 1982. In 1984, he became the first driver to win 200 races in a single year at both Roosevelt and Yonkers Raceway. And by the way, that was against the best drivers in the world. In 1988, Lachance made the move to Meadowlands Racetrack, his base. At the mecca of American harness racing, he would rank in the top 5 drivers for 15 straight seasons. Lachance was the U.S. national champion in wins for 4 straight years from 1984 to 1987. In 1986, he set a new North American record with 770 wins. Wow. On July 14, 1995, he set a new world record for most wins on a single race card with 8. Among his many major career wins were 5 in the prestigious Little Brown Jug, 4 Hamiltonian Stakes, 3 North American Cup races. In 1997, he won the Triple Crown of harness racing for paces with Western Dreamer, the only gelding of any breed to win the Triple Crown. I'm not done yet, Michael. All right, major racing wins. Confederate Cup, 1988 and 2003. Meadowlands Pace, 1988, 2003. Say that word. I can't say that. 1988, 1989. Marie Annabelle, I'm having trouble seeing this. Marie Annabelle Trot, 1988, 1992. Adios Pace, 1989, 1996, 2006. Canadian Trotting Classic, 1989. Gold Cup Invitational Pace, 1989. U.S. Pacing Championship, 1989, 1990, 2004. William R. Houghton Memorial Pace, 1989, 1990, 1997, 2000, 2003, 2004. Hamiltonian Oaks, 1990. New Jersey Classic Pace, 1990, 1998, 1999, 2001, 2003. Dexter Cup, 1991, 2002, 2004. North American Cup, 1992, 1998. 2001, Tattersall's Pace, 1994, 1997, 1998, 1999, 2001, 2002, 2 of them. Valley Victory Pace, 1995. Art Rooney Pace, 1996, 1997. Wildrow Wilson, 1996, 1999. Max Hemp Memorial Pace, 1997. Milton Stakes, 1997. International Stallion Stakes, 1998, 1997, 2004, 2009, Canadian Pacing Derby, 2000, Metro Pace, 2001, Engagement Stakes. Hold it, Michael. Breeders' Crown wins. Breeders' Crown Open Pace, 1985, 1989, 1991, 1997, 2000. Breeders' Crown Open Mare Pace, 1986, 1994, 2000. Breeders' Crown 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pace, 1989, 1994, 1996, 1998. Breeders' Crown 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trot, 1990, 1992, 2000. Breeders' Crown 3-year-old Trot Filly Trot, 1992. Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Filly Pace, 1993, 2006. Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Filly Trot, 1995, 2001, 2006, Breeders' Crown 3-year-old filly Pace, 1996, Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace, 1997, 2000, 2006, Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trot, 2003, 2009, Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly Pace. And this is the last one. U.S. Pacing Triple Crown wins. Little Brown Jug, 1988, 1989, 1994, 1997, 2001. Cane Pace, 1987, 1997, 1998. Messenger Stakes, 1988, 1997. U.S. Trotting Triple Crown wins. Hamiltonian Stakes, 1994, 1996, 1999, 2003, Yonkers Trot, 1991, 1992, 1996, Kentucky Futurity, 1991, 2012, 2013, Racing Awards, Honest Track HTA Driver of the Year Award, 1985, 1986, 1987, U.S. Honest Racing Driving Championship, 1984, 85, 86, 87. Honors Canadian Racing Hall of Fame, 1993. United States Honest Racing Hall of Fame, 1995. Little Brown Jug Wall of Fame, 2002. Significant Horses, Bettor's Delight, JB Scoots, Camluck, Continental Victory, Goldie, Jeffrey, on and on and on and on. I can't even talk anymore, Michael. That is so impressive. That's unbelievable.
It's a good thing you retired, Mike.
Now I know why. Now I know why when the winter meet came, he used to take off. He started taking off the winter meets. He says this was enough. And not only that, but I just want to say this. Billy O'Donnell and John Campbell, at the time he was racing, they were them three guys were the top, along with Ronnie Pierce, and they were all great. Everybody, every one of them had nothing but good things to say. O'Donnell is in love with them. O'Donnell just says the best things in the world about him. That in O'Donnell's eyes, he was the best. And even Campbell says, and I think it was O'Donnell that says he don't give up nothing, but he don't ask for nothing. He's out there on his own, and whatever he does and whatever he gets, he gets it because of his. And not only that, but I have to say this too. Aside from all of that, in all the years, I know that I broke probably 15, 20 bones in my body. And I'm sure these guys too. Like I said many times, I saw Campbell come in with shackle with metal braces on him, and Michael Lachance, same thing. They all you got to have nerves of steel, and these guys.
Well, Larry, I was very fortunate. I had a bunch of accidents, and for some reason, I always came out of it okay.
The good Lord had you covered.
I've said that so many times. I had an angel on my side all my whole life, my whole career. My timing was always perfect. I came in the perfect time. Whenever I was moving the different track, it was always the right move. And
smart move.
Yeah, no.
You never got busted up in an accident that kept you out of racing for a while?
Never. Wow. And I have some accident there. The worst I had, like it's a broken rib a couple times, but I didn't even miss a night.
Wow.
One time it was bothering me for like a week or two. I had 3 broken rib. And I didn't want to say anything because, back then you say that you're hurt, everybody
they won't let you drive.
Take advantage of it. So, no, I was very, very lucky. One time in a jog there, they took me out on the stretcher, and they thought I was, they taped me to the stretcher, and they thought I was in the next day I was driving.
Wow.
So I was very fortunate about that. I said that many times, and very, very lucky person there. Whatever move, I used to joke about that. I used to say I would fall off an airplane and I would be landing in a trampoline in the backyard.
Land in a mattress store.
Yeah, but
Before we go on, how's the kid? I heard that he got run over by a horse at Yonkers going
Yeah.
down a ramp or something.
yeah, but he was out for about a month, and he was banged up pretty good, and he just came out of it, and he's right now he's doing better than ever.
Good.
He's got a very nice stable that is racing at Yonkers, and he's doing very, 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 very good. Yeah.
Are you on his payroll, or you just do it to have fun?
I'm very, and then again, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to be in nobody's payroll.
Good for you, Michael.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good for you. Tell us about one of these horses. Which one of the? Can you see this on the screen where you are? Can you see this list of horses? Better's Delight, Camluck, Continental. Can you see that?
No, I think I can't see. It's too small.
Oh,
But, while I drove so many great horses there. But you know what? For about, I would say maybe 20, 25 years, almost every year I had a shot at one of the best horses in the country. So that's
tell us
easier
about
to
that
do
time
good.
tell us about the time when you choose to take off one of Gerfein's horses and he started crying at the dinner table. And
Oh, no, that was it was the Hambo.
the
That
Hambo.
year, number 1, 2, 3, they were on my drive. Number 1, 2, and 4, they were my drive. And one was Continental Victory, was a filly, and one was Lindy Lane, was a colt. And Lindy Lane was the 2-year-old of the year. Continental Victory was the filly of the year at 2. But now when they came to 3 and it was time for a Hambo, me, in my heart, I said, I'm okay, because I thought Lindy Lane was the best horse and Continental Victory was going to be the best filly in a Hoke. But they changed and they want to race her against the boys. She was so good. And I knew she was great, but I didn't think she could beat Lindy Lane. So like 2-3 weeks before the Hambo, they say you got to make a choice. So we all went to El Villaggio for a lunch, and Gerf was sitting to my left, and the owner of Continental Victory, they were a couple. And so I said, I'm going to stay with Lindy Lane because he's a colt, and I'm going to have some breeding and things like that for the horse.
That's
Swear to
being
God,
on the spot.
he won right on the table there. His face there on the table. Oh, you can't do that. The filly stuff to drive, and you can't do that. And to see a grown man like that, I couldn't take it. I said, Ronnie, I said, geez, right, it's not the end of the world. This is just one race. And I back off on my seat, and I said, I'm going to stay with the filly. I said, I won an Hambo like 2 years before for Ronnie. So I said, it's not the end of the world. If I can't win another one, so that's okay. But after the lunch there, I got a call. The people that own the Lindy Lane, they're sure that I'm going to drive him. So I get on the phone and booth next to El Villaggio, and I spoke to Frankie and Tanacci, and those people. They're great people. I didn't know what to say and how to say it, and I said, Frankie, I'm not going to be able to drive Lindy Lane. I said I have to stay with the Continental Victory. Then I heard nothing on the phone. I said, Frankie, you still there? Yeah, I'm here. And I felt so bad, and So I said, geez, you'll never talk to me again. And they were a good customer for me. And they're such a great people. So I was sick. The week before the Hambo, there was back then, I think was the Budweiser Trot. And so we meet Lindy Lane, Continental Victory. So Lindy Lane sat in my back with Bill O'Donnell, and top of the stretch he pulled and he wins the race, and I finished. I think I was third with Continental Victory, second or third, but she didn't finish her mile good, and so right after the races I went back to the barn and I talked to the girl that was taking care of the mare, and she told me, she said, Mike, the fillies in the heat, they're terrible. So she says that's why she didn't race that great. So the next morning, that was on Saturday. The next morning, it was on Sunday. I called Garfine in the barn, and they told me it was in the city at his mother. So I talked to him, and we talked about that she was in the east, so they gave her chorionic, and did not train her that week, and she was going to race 2 weeks on next Saturday. So she just jogged, and she came back on Saturday, and she went through straight heat and went the Hambo with Lindy Lane in my back.
You said Lindy Lane was right on you. I didn't see the race. Lindy Lane sat in the 2-hole the whole way and couldn't beat you.
No, and I saw him top of the stretch, and when you have a horse that's sitting on your back that you know is the better horse than the one that I knew the mare was super good, but not good enough for to beat Lindy Lane, especially not sitting in my back. So when I saw him top of the stretch with Bill O'Donnell, that you know he's not going to panic and he's going to do the right thing. Oh, I couldn't believe that she held on.
Did you give him any room, or was he locked in, or did you back into him?
No, he wasn't locked in, and he even pulled like halfway in the middle of the turn, you know, to make sure that
so he had to
clear somebody out a little bit.
He had a clear shot at you and couldn't get you.
Yeah, no, there was nobody that could beat her that day. She was one of the best 3-year-old trotting filly of all time. A lot of people that they still remember her the way she was. She was something special. She trotted 30 years ago in 52 heats on the same day.
Did Antonacci talk to you again?
The what?
Antonacci ever talk to you again?
Oh yes, no, they were such a great people. For 1 week or two, they were a little. And then we were friends again, and I drove plenty of horses for them again. So great people. But Ronnie, he was heartbroken that day when I told him I'm not gonna drive her.
Yeah.
But Ronnie Garfine was just very special in my career.
Yeah, I had dinner with him in Florida probably a couple of weeks before he was diagnosed, and then that was the last time I ever saw him. After that, he was a good guy. I was stable next to him. No, he was stabled at Monticello for a long time. When in the beginning he was partners with some other kid. I forgot his name, and he always messed with trotters. In fact.
Was he maybe partner with Don and Terry Kerr, maybe?
No. It was before Terry came around. It was oh God, Kurt. I forgot. A big guy, nice guy, just too loud and everything. And he was partners with him. And all Ronnie did was fool around with trotters ever since he was I don't even remember him having a pacer. I remember him coming up to me one day and at Sunshine Meadows. I was walking around Sunshine Meadows and he called me over. That's where he trained, I think, and he in Florida, and he introduced me to all his owners, and he says to me, this is my claim to fame anyway. He says, see this guy, Larry Rolla, he won my first stake race. And that was true. In 1978, I win his first stake race with a 3-year-old trotting filly called some network or something like that, some network. And that was the horse that Vernon Dancer drove for him a couple of weeks prior, and that's the horse that when she made a break, she just fell. She just got tangled up and went down, and that's the horse that's the wreck that Vernon Dancer broke his back and his leg and basically retired him. And then Ronnie asked me, well, nobody up there would drive him because the horse was nuts. And but anyway, we straightened her out. I'm going to tell that story because it has to do with the racing commission. But this is your show, not mine.
No. Talk about anything you want. It's fine with me. I had enough. So many great things happened to me in my life. You know,
What? Of all them things, and that's amazing. All this stuff here, it's unbelievable. It's page after page after page after page after page. I was going to ask you what it's like a stupid question. What was the most exciting? Was there any one race of all of them things? Jesus Christ.
There's a couple. When I won the Hambo with self-possessed, my oldest brother, the one that I start with, the one that started me in a business there from when I was a little kid there, was there for me, and my sister, who was Luke Wallet's mother, they were there. So that Hambo was and 2 weeks before the Hambo, Self-Possessed was the heavy favorite, and he went bad. He started to make break, and we had a tough time to get him right back for the race. So that race was something very special for me. And the first Prix d'Été that I won in Montreal with Matt Scooter.
Matt Scooter,
yeah, that was something very, very special. But I was so spoiled. I won so many, like when you're a young man and you say which one race that you want to win in your life. Most of they're going to tell you the jug or
the Hamiltonian.
The Hamiltonian, or maybe the Canadian, they say the North American Cup.
Right.
I won 5 jug there. And I could have won even 2 more, but I was committed to the right horse, and I just
right place, right time.
Hamiltonian and 3 North American Cup and Meadowlands Space. Come on, I was so fortunate. I was always behind horses that have a shot to be the best around, so that's much easier.
I think I drove against your brother when I first got licensed in the 60s. Gillis? Yeah, I think he came down from Canada. I think I drove against him somewhere. I remember him, and then when I met you at Lincoln Downs in 1970 or 71, you were just a kid, and I remember your brother.
You must have met my brother Gilles at Monticello in the late 60s. He raced in Monticello maybe 67, 68, something like that.
I know I raced against him and a couple of other guys. Yeah.
Great horseman and a great driver. He was 13 years older than me, and I came into the business following him, and I idolized him, and he taught me the first all the first step to do. Told me what to do, how to run a barn, and very hardworking guy, and just a good businessman too.
I know that you gave up your stable. I know that you always had, even up at Lincoln Downs in the 70s, you had 30, 40 horse stable. And I think in 1984, 85, something like that, you just gave up the whole rate because you were catch driving. Everybody said you had a horse in every race, and you basically packed it in right at that time.
You know, like just for the fun of it, one time at the Yonkers, back then when they used to put the horse and the driver at the end. At the beginning, they used to do that at Yonkers. And one time, second race, my horse came up on 8 horses at the Yonkers. So I had so many mount. When I came down in 82, that was I start slow, but 82 and 83, then I got second to Carmine at the end of the year in
Right.
83, and then 84, 85, 86, 87. I was winning double the races than the one that was second there.
That's
Basically.
when you came to Roosevelt. That's when I met you, when you hooked up with Vinny Orajema. Your horses
Yeah,
were on
exactly.
Vinny with
Yeah, I
Bob
had
Bass.
so many. I had some great stable to drive for.
Yeah,
Was Vinny,
yeah.
and Larry Summers and Linda Toscano.
Right.
So you know, between the three.
Yeah.
But once in a while, I was driving like for you, Joe, and
Yeah, I used you right from the
whoever.
beginning.
But basically, your driver was Carmine back then.
Yeah, Carmine, Teddy Wing.
Yeah.
Eddie Lohmeyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When you broke, you were telling that story before, and I didn't want to interrupt you. When you broke your ribs, was that before or after Henry Fillion broke his ribs and wound up dying because?
oh no, that was way before. But basically, what happened to Henry?
Internal bleeding.
I would say it was then in the 90s. He wasn't even around anymore. Henry was in Canada, back in Quebec, and Connaught Park, and you know, like a cheaper track. And he had an accident, and Henry was a tough guy, and he didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to drive the next race, and he broke the rib inside, and he went through his lung, and then he bled to death in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he had a heart attack in the hospital. When they took him after the races, he drove in another race after, and it was just a mess there.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
was a shame.
He's a guy
Yeah.
like Ronnie Pierce, who would give you one-word answers, and that's if he ever answered you. He'd never talk, never say nothing. Just a very, very
Ronnie
private.
Pierce,
He was quiet guy.
Ronnie Pierce was my good friend all those years, and I still talk to him once in a while. And I, when he had problem with his heart last year, and he got an open heart surgery. And when he came out of the hospital there, the first guy he called when he came out was me. I got along real good with Ronnie Pierce. Great driver, a natural driver. Everything he did, it's by instinct. He didn't have to look at the program. He didn't do it the same way as a lot of people would do it. Great hand, always in a good spot, and just very top driver, top of the line.
I remember. First of all, I raced with his father when he was just a kid. Donnie.
I knew Don Pierce. I raced against him in the early, in the late 60s.
Yeah.
At Batavia, 1969. I raced against Don Pierce.
And then after that, he come to Monticello, and that's when I raced against him at Monticello. I never forget the day Ronnie Pierce. I shouldn't say this. I'll tell her when he's on. But he came into. He was gone for a while. He left the country for a while, and he came back one day at the Meadowlands, and the paddock judge Teddy. Remember Teddy, the paddock judge at the Meadowlands?
Remember him real
He
good.
worked for me for years. When way back in the 60s, he worked for me. And all the way up until the 70s, all the way up until he got the job, he worked for me. So I'm sitting there talking with Teddy, and it was a qualifying day. It was nasty out, snow and rain, but the qualifiers went on. But none of the top guys showed up for the qualifiers. So they were always hunting for drivers, somebody to drive these things, because Campbell didn't show up, O'Donnell, And who comes walking in? I haven't seen him in years, but his red, white, and blue colors, brand new. Everybody's covered with mud. He comes walking in with his helmet in his hand and a whip. And he says to Teddy, he says, listen, if you need any driver for any of these qualifiers, I'm the guy. And he got on every horse, and every time he come back with a horse, he tell the trainer, he says, listen, I'm not sure, I don't know who drove this horse before, but put me on him and I'll win his next start.
He was
And he did.
But Ronnie was different there. When you talk to him, you didn't come across, like a, but a heart of gold. And I have a lot of respect for him because I think he was great. One of the great one. One of the great.
Yeah. He called me up. He called me up when I first started this podcast. And the reason I first started the podcast was because I had nothing else going for me. I was penniless. I was broke, and my friend convinced me to write a book because he knew me way before any of you guys knew me. And he says, write your life story. So I did. Anyway, when the book came out and I started the podcast to promote the book, Ronnie Pierce called me up and he says, listen, he says, I retired from driving, but I still have my colors and my helmet. And if you need me to be in the movie,
that's Ronnie.
Yeah, that's Ronnie. And he's very much like Billy Parker up from Monticello. He'd rather, I think he'd rather live in a treehouse than live in a mansion, Ronnie. He's just that kind of guy. He's just, don't say much, man of few words, but very, very, very talented. And a lot of times on this program, people call me up all the time and say, who is the best? Who is the best? Who is the best? It's so difficult, but there are few guys, and you're one of them, Michael, that can drive a mare, a stallion, a filly, a colt, half-mile track.
Well, Larry, when I start, first I like to say that all the time. I was born in a feed tub, so I was always around horses. That's what I was all my life. So before I learned about horses, I knew about horses when I was real young. I claimed a horse with my brother. The first horse I claimed, I was 15 years old. 15. I claimed a horse with him. So all my life there. In the 70s, that was my business. I used to get up in the morning and I looked to find something to claim. Yeah. And when you claim horses all the time, you got to be sharp to make them go, or you get out of the business. So I had a way to learn. So when I came down to New York, I was in my early 30s, but I had the experience with the horses. So whenever I was sitting behind a horse, if I would come back after the race, I had a good idea what was wrong with him, and that's what helps me a lot at the beginning. In the middle of 70s, I had 45 horses racing at Brandywine, and I was 25 years old. So you have to learn a little something along the way.
Didn't you win your first race at 12 years old, Mike, a fair race in Canada?
I was 13 years old in a fair. Yeah. You didn't even need a license there. I was a little trotter there. I won in 220.
220.
A little black horse with the white legs. His name was Charming Marmick. And I was 13 years old. Yeah.
Was that Dufferin Park or?
No. There was a little track in Canada. We used to bring the horses to the track, and somebody was coming around and was trying to make like 4 or 5 races, 4 or 5 in each race. You just give the name of the horse and you put the driver. I was 13. I was driving in every race.
I got my license in Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo. I think it was 59, something like that. And I got my colors. When I went for my colors, I copied the colors of a driver that was there called Claude Pelletier. Did you ever hear of him?
Oh,
Claude Pelletier? He had purple and gold colors.
good horsemen. They were a big family in Montreal, the Pelletier family. But Claude, he was the one that had that super horse that was racing in New York. His name was Golden Bland.
I don't remember.
No, but you must have heard of him.
I
Anyway,
heard, I heard of him. And Bob Shuttleworth, I'm sure you remember him. His
Yes,
mother
I do.
made my colors. His mother made my colors in 59 or 60 up in Buffalo at Buffalo Racetrack. She made my first colors, and then from there I came down to Roosevelt, and well, I won't go into that. What's that ring that you got on, Michael?
that's the Hamiltonian, no, the Hall of Fame in Canada. That's the only ring that I always wear it all the time. So it's my favorite, really. And I have a bunch of rings, but I never. I'm gonna leave it to my grandson when I go.
Your wife's gonna hit you in the head. That's not your favorite ring. It's your second favorite ring.
No,
Yeah, I always lost it. That one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's not go there.
I lost a couple of them too. The wife's went with it. The wife went with them though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh no, I picked the right one there.
I wore a ring once in the 60s, I think, and I was driving a puller, and I almost lost my finger because of that ring. It just cut right in.
I never wear the ring when I race there. I always left it in the locker. Yeah.
All right, Joe. Somebody told me that you once had an arm wrestling contest with Michael. Is that true?
Very true.
And what happened?
It was Mike was probably one of the strongest guys. How tall are you, Mike?
I'm 5'6".
5'6". Mike was probably one of the strongest guys for his size that I ever seen. And I know he arm wrestled a guy named Perry Steinkohl. He was like bragging. I remember, Mike, you told me the story about
Perry
Steinkohl.
Perry was talking he was
He
strong
was a tough
there,
guy, but Mike destroyed him. And
I told him, I said, no. I said to Perry,
he put you on the spot,
he wanted to do it there. I said, no. I said, you're probably gonna hurt me. He said, no, I'm not gonna hurt you. And but a lot of people around.
He put you on the spot, is what he did in front of a lot of people.
Oh, he was so he didn't know what to say, and he said he came to see me after.
Challenged him, and Mike couldn't say no. He wanted to say no, but he didn't because there were so many people around.
Yeah, there must have been 10, 15 people around.
Yeah.
And I said, but like I have short arm, and it's in my family. My father was a short guy like me, and he was very strong.
Right, you have a forearm.
Come on, I'm not. I'm 5'6". I'm not.
But your arms.
Do you know that I remember? I may have this wrong, but I don't think so. I was in a freehold racetrack, and maybe I'm wrong because maybe your brother didn't go to freehold, but I'm almost positive he was at a bar one night, and there was another guy, a real wise guy, at the end of the bar, and your brother, he started saying something, and your brother just knocked him out cold. Your brother, he was a tough little guy, tough.
There was only one like him. He was there wasn't a natural with the way he was. He was strong. I guess it was just unbelievable the way he was.
Michael, I need your opinion. I'm looking at that picture behind you.
Let us finish the arm wrestle story.
All right, go ahead.
I think it was at Yonkers Raceway.
Yeah.
And it was like after the 12th race, right, Mike?
And it was in the paddock there at Yonkers. Yeah.
And I don't know how the subject came up, but somebody said something, and we ended up having an arm wrestle. And if I tell you, it had to last a half hour, Mike.
I don't know how long it last, but and you know, like not too many guys were beating me unless there was like I was pretty good for my size.
You were the toughest guy I ever arm wrestled. I tell you,
I was always
soaking
very
wet.
strong on the track with a horse. There wasn't a polar that I couldn't hold.
Yeah, I remember that. And,
Because a couple of times I drove the horses that they couldn't stop after the race, and they won a couple of times around. And one year, one of Larry Summers, it was at the Meadowlands, and whoever drove him at the time couldn't stop him, and
yeah,
he won like 3 times around. And
yeah, I remember that.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so he brought the horse to Roosevelt, and Larry came to me and he says, "You know what, Mike? I don't know. If you said no, I said it's fine because, but he says I'm gonna have 2 marshal, and he says if you can't stop after the race, he says then the 2 marshal they're gonna stop
Right.
him." I said okay. I said, Larry, if I can't stop him, I'm gonna walk from here to Montreal. So, but everybody was there, and I stopped. I had to put all my strength there, but I was so vain that I says I'm not. They're not gonna have to run on me on the track, so I stopped them.
Yeah, that was
Now, let me. I want to get.
we
I
went-
want to get Mike's opinion on this because I see that picture behind him. What do you think about the new? I guess it's the new. I've been out of it so long. I don't. The last time I was in, I didn't even know what a quick hitch was. But about these guys sitting straight back, leaning parallel to the ground, and the distance now between the first horse and the last horse is double what it used to be because the extra. What do you think about that?
With those bikes there, they're sitting so far behind the horse, they have to lean back like that. And I think it's an edge there, definitely. The only thing that bothers me, if there's like an accident or something there,
can't avoid it.
it's much tougher to avoid there.
You can't even before your reflexes aren't fast enough because by the time you see it, you're over the horse.
And there's something else now that happened today that it didn't happen even in my time. They have the handhold so far back,
Yeah.
so they don't have a hold of the horse.
Yeah, we had a discussion about that a few podcasts back. It's very dangerous. I mean, it's just you can't react, and you're sitting so far back you can't see the horse in front of you.
Oh no, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah. I don't know.
The guy I was talking about before, Joe, was Jimmy Morrell.
Oh,
Jimmy Morrell.
Yeah.
Before you come on, Mike, we were talking about some of the guys, in my opinion, that were really good drivers, but had to leave the New York, New Jersey area because guys like yourself, Lachance, Campbell, O'Donnell, they were all getting the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth choice. And this kid, Morrell, who I also raced with his father, he couldn't get, and he wound up going up to Buffalo. But in my opinion, he was a pretty sharp kid.
Very, 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 very good driver.
Yeah, Jimmy Morrell was good.
Yeah, no, very, very good driver. But you know what? When somebody asks me, like who's the best and who's there's like a bunch there that you can't say.
You can't
they were
separate
the
them.
best at that time there. Like me, I think I'm very lucky that I drove against the Billy Houghton and the Stanley Dancer because I've been around for so long. I started to drive in '67, so in all those years, like in the '70s, they were at the end of those great drivers like I don't I have it all in my mind, but I drove against Stanley Dancer, Billy Houghton, George Schulte, which a guy like George Schulte, to me,
Yeah,
You could bring him back today, George, and
He
he
could
could drive with the young guy today.
yeah.
With
Yeah,
the
George is a good
style that he
driver.
had. And like I count like Hervé and Carmine and Joe Marsh and Delensko
Delensko.
and it's all in the same time, those guys. And then the
Michael, there's a
second
guy.
generation, the Campbell, the O'Donnell, and the Pierce and the Catmanzi, and there's so many that I forget. And even me, like me, it came from Montreal. There was some great driver in Montreal. Like there's a guy that raced all those years, Gilles Gendron.
Yeah,
Gilles Gendron was super driver. Or my
yeah,
brother Gilles, all the Filion family, they all could drive a horse real
yeah,
good. There's so
yeah,
many. And forget about back then. Look at today. There's so much talent out there.
yeah.
They're just different than we were.
Different style, yeah.
Yeah,
Michael,
like
this girl here, there's a girl, I think it's a girl, Carmine Cerrone.
Carmen.
Is that a girl? Anyway, they
Yeah,
have a
Carmen.
question.
Yeah,
They have a statement, Michael, that they say that I always enjoyed speaking with Mike after the Meadowlands qualifiers. I remember asking him once who he looked up to as a driver, and with no hesitation, he responded, Mario Bergeron.
Maurice Bergeron.
Mario said super. I was in Montreal when Mario started to drive. When Mario started, let's say I was maybe like 25, 26, 27 years old. The first 10 drives of his life, he could drive with anybody. He was very talented very early. And there's so many that, like in my time that I call, the O'Donnell and the Campbell and the Pierce and the Manzi and a bunch that I forget. And even today, like you see a guy like David Miller.
Yeah,
David Miller is closing on 60 years old.
yeah,
He's as good as ever.
yeah. He's a great
You
driver.
watch him, he's smart in a race and he knows about a horse and
I have another comment here. I'm going through the comments, Mike, because there's a million of them here, and I'm trying to pick a couple of them out. I'm trying to listen to what you have to say and read at the same time. This guy says, just watched Mike win the 1992 North American Cup with safety kept. Do you remember that?
Oh, you better believe it. I remember. I'm not even supposed to drive him. Jack Mosev is supposed to drive him. And he drove him in the elimination. And he was driving McCluskey in Buffalo the next day. And back then, Jack, like he was you couldn't always count on him. For some reason, he didn't go across the river and drive the one in Buffalo in the Sire Stake. So the owner was very wealthy man, and he got mad and he says he didn't want to drive my trotter, so he says he's not going to drive the one in the North American Cup. And the trotter that he didn't want to drive, he says he's in the Yonkers Strut next week. And he says, if you want to go drive the one in Toronto, you'll drive McCluskey in the Yonkers Trot. I knew McCluskey could win the Yonkers Trot.
Mm-hmm.
And the one in Toronto, he had the rail, but it says he has no shot. But I said, $1 million race.
Yeah.
He's got the rail. I'm going and I'm going to drive both.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I went with both. I
Wow.
won with the North American Cup, and you pay like $60 to win or something like that. So it was a long shot. And I came back and I won with the Yonkers Trot with McCluskey the following week.
Good week.
Here's another.
But you see, that's what I'm saying. I always had the good timing.
Yeah.
Why me that time?
Here's another
You're
comment.
a good guy. You deserve it.
Another comment. Guy writes, Michael Lachance is about as good a guy as I ever met in harness racing. He would never remember me, but every time I ever saw him, he acted like he'd known me forever. Pure class. There's 100 of them kind of comments on here, Michael. They all feel the same way as I do about you. You just you know, you're just a special guy. That's all. You're a special guy. I'm trying.
Well, you know, I spent all my life around racing. I'm not the. I don't care about sport. I don't care about golf. I don't care about many things. I love the horses, and I love to be around horses. And honestly, sometimes some people are going to say things like that, and they don't mean it. To me, going to the track every night and drive 10, 12 horses, because in my heyday, I would never go to the track and drive two. I always had a full card.
Yeah.
So I was spoiled. I always had a full card, and it was fun. It wasn't working for me. It was fun.
Right.
So,
Mike, I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to answer this question, but this guy Robert asked, "What's your thoughts on what happened between Richard Merlot and Filion?"
Sylvain.
Sylvain
that's a
Filion.
very touchy situation, because Yves Filion has been my friend for 50 some years. And the Filion family, at one time or another, I was close to every one of them, but the closest to me was Yves. And Richard Moreau, Richard trains horses. He trained horses for me many times, and he always treat me like I'm the king, and always was so honest with me, and to me, very good guy. What happened exactly there, I don't know, and I don't have the heart to find out. I
Okay.
always talk to Filion all the time, but since that thing happened, I never called him back because I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here's
really, I know
I,
it's so sad that the guys like that they're suspended for 10 years. But I don't know.
understand. Here's another question from David. David's a good guy. He calls in a lot. He says, he asked me if I could ask you what drive in a big race would you like to do over? Is there any race that you drove a horse that you would like to do over and maybe have a different result?
What horse?
Yeah. What horse in a
okay,
big
yes,
race?
the Hambletonian. I finished second in a Hambletonian with Ambassador Bell. I would say maybe 90 or 91. And John Campbell won the race. And if I had to start it all over again, 10 times, I would beat him 8 times. And I can't say that it race that I would like to do it all over again. And for sure, I would beat him much more than he beat me. That's one race, and because it was the Hambo.
Yeah. All right, here's
you
another
said,
one.
John Campbell won. He won 6 Hambo, John, and I won 4. If it
Ronnie,
wasn't that one there, we would have won 5 each. So that's one race. One race that I'd like to start all over again.
You
And,
you won 3 for Ronnie.
So many of the
Who was
big
the other
races.
horse?
Amigo Hall for Bird in Toronto.
For who? You're breaking up.
All right, Mike. Mike, if you can hear me, here's another question. Which was a better track to drive, Woodbine or Mohawk? Now Mike froze up. So
Yeah, Mike froze.
Mike froze up.
Okay, I got you back.
Okay. Did you see that question? Which was a better track, Woodbine or Mohawk? Which was better to drive it?
Myself, I like Mohawk better. Woodbine was the tough track. You were better to be first up then they have to go 3 wide, the top of the turn. Long stretch, and both were both very good. I won some North American Cup at boat track, and I won another one at Greenwood. The safety cap was at Greenwood back then.
All right. The same guy asked, he says he thought you might say the Meadowlands pace would bet his delight. Seemed like Campbell got the jump on you. He froze up again. You froze up again, Mike.
No, I'm okay now.
All right. Did you hear that question? The same guy says he thought you might have said the Meadowlands pace would bet his delight. It seems like Campbell got the jump on you.
Yes, no, I don't like to use any excuse there, but the Meadowlands pace with Better's Delight and Real Desire in the first turn, Better's Delight lost the shoe in front, and the shoe went up flying in the air, and I swear to it was all messed up, and he just got beat in the last step, and I don't know, but I think it was one of the reasons. The whole mile with no shoe, and Meadowlands wasn't a good track back then to go without the shoes, and he didn't have the best feet in the world. So if I could find an excuse, I know Real Desire was a great horse too.
This guy, David Guy, says, Mr. Lachance, your son does a great job with the small stable he has. His horses always seem sharp.
Well, I'm the wrong guy to ask there, but my son Patrick, he's a much better driver than what they think sometimes, because he always he drives his own horses most of the time, and he always protects his horses there all the time. Not that he has any gambling in his head. Patrick, you wouldn't even know how to buy a ticket on a horse there. He's not a gambler, not whatsoever. He has but a very, very, very good horseman. He impressed me sometimes. Like when we have a horse new in the barn, he's going to sit behind him, and he comes back and he could tell you the whole story. He's a natural horseman. It's very, very, very good horseman.
And a good, nice person. He's really respectful and really.
And he's very respected by everybody.
Yeah.
But he respects everybody. And
that's what I'm saying. He's very respectful. He was a kid when he was driving for me, and he was always a perfect gentleman. Really.
Yeah, and he's a very, very good businessman.
Yeah, well, that comes from Dad.
Well,
you know what would be great one day? I'm going to try. Billy O'Donnell said he was going to come on. I got to try to get a hold of Ronnie Pierce. My friend said he can get a hold of him. I tried. I can't get a hold of him. What I'm going to do is, and Billy O'Donnell's already said he's going to come on. And I got to try to get Billy O'Donnell on. I don't think Campbell will come on because of the position he has now with racing.
Yeah. But O'Donnell, there's nobody like him. He's a storyteller, but he's got. I had so much fun with him. The last, I would maybe not that long, but for like 3-4 years, we on a Grand Circuit. We traveled together, and most of the time. We were always sitting on a plane together. I see him one night. We were racing in a small track there, and I don't even remember where. So when I get there at the track, he said, "Did you get a room?" I said, "Yeah, I got it at the airport." He said, "Shit." He said, "I got a room right here." But he said, "Let me go back to the airport with you." He left his room and he came back to the airport. But at the airport, we couldn't find a room. So I said, "Oh, okay, stay with me." And there was only one bed in my room. We slept in the same bed. And we're talking and talking, and I had so much fun with him.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, both of you guys. Should I have? I know one thing. If I say that Mike Lachance wants to come on with all the other guys, you know, with O'Donnell and Pierce, should I have them on all together, or should it? Because that would be great to have. Because I could have up to 10 guys on here and just tell stories back and forth and let it go for hours. Or should I give each one like I did with Michael, because their records, all them other guys, their records are very, very impressive. And they're out of the limelight now, and there's a lot of kids that watch this thing. 90% of these people that watch, because, you know, I get thousands of views, cumulative, and there's a lot of people that watch that don't know. That's why I wanted to put Michael's history up there, because it's so impressive. And the other guys that I want to have on are equally impressive. And should I have them on separate, or just get them all together and maybe every couple of weeks have them all together? Because between them they could tell a million stories. It'd be very entertaining.
Yeah, but
If I was you, I would start with either Pierce or O'Donnell, but I would start with one at a time.
One
and
at a
then do as many as you can, even like a Cat Manzi. Very,
And then-
I agree. But so you're going to need a 4 or 5 hour podcast. The first 2 hours just to hook everybody up.
Yeah, but that's okay, because on this thing I could put 10 people on here at once. But I think Michael's right. Have each one come on, celebrate each guy, and then have them all come on at one time and just tell some story. Because between them all, they got to be a million stories, because all these guys for the last 15, 20 years worked at the same race.
Yeah, for like a 20 years straight there, we worked together. Probably the one that drove the most races together was probably me and John, because we were on the Grand Circuit for a long time.
Yeah.
But just to tell you, like O'Donnell, I spoke to him the last time, I would say maybe 6 months ago. I called him just to ask him about this one little thing. I talked to him for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I was after I was done with him, I walked, and my wife, she said, "What happened to you?" I had tears in my eyes. He made me laugh so much. I was laughing like unbelievable. You know, I had so much fun with him.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I gotta try to get a hold of. I'm going to ask my friend Kurt Watson, says he can get a hold of Ronnie Pierce, because he said that O'Donnell said that he wants to come on, but it would be a lot of fun if he came on with Ronnie Pierce. I guess they have some stories together, but
and I know they're good friends, because Ronnie tells me when I talk to him, he tells me, "Oh, I'm Billy." So, you know,
I think 2 guys at a time is enough, Larry, but otherwise you can't get everybody to speak enough.
yeah.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right, Michael, I can't. We've been on for 2 hours already. I can't thank you enough for coming on. You've been a great friend, not only to me but everybody in horse racing. I got a million messages here. I can't go through them all because we'll be here until Sunday. What a great person! Everybody here respects the hell out of you. And everybody there's not one bad thing anybody has to say. It's all positive stuff.
I'm very proud of that. Like I'm going to be 74 years old, and I've been around for a long time. I started to drive, I was very young. And through all my life and my career in harness racing, I raced every track in Canada, every track in the States. I raced in Europe, I raced in New Zealand, Australia. Not too many enemies.
None. Here's a kid.
Not too many. I mean, I was always, and I tried to teach my sons to be the same way. My son Martin in Toronto and Patrick, and they both the same way. We're not a hater. we try to get along with everybody, and we're not jealous of each other. And I was the same way with my friends. When I was racing there, I was friendly with everybody, but on the track, no friends, but never dirty. But no friends. I didn't want when I leave the gate in $1 million race that somebody from the outside can count on me. No, but if somebody was stuck, I was always use my head, and if so, and that way I brought respect, and people then don't hate me, and you don't have to be dirty if you're a good driver. Look at the guy like Carmen Abatello, Buddy Gilmore. Those guys, some of the greatest driver, and they weren't dirty. It was easy to drive them against them because you knew they knew what they were doing. I heard that Carmine is not very healthy right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard he was in Key West.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He lives in the same development. I live in the Four Seasons by Freehold, and Carmine lived in it. And I saw his son the other night in the restaurant, Eric, and he told me that he had a tough time lately. But Carmine is 88.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard he
Great
was fishing in Key West.
driver.
Oh yeah, he was something, boy.
Let me ask you a question based on what you just said, because I'm confused about that, because I always felt, and I understand because O'Donnell said it to you that you never asked for nothing, you didn't give nothing, but you never asked for nothing. You drove your race, but sometimes, and tell me if I'm wrong in the way I think. Sometimes there's such a thing, in my opinion anyway, is professional courtesy out there, and sometimes that goes hand in hand with strategy, and sometimes they go together, and sometimes when I was racing, I had a tough time with that. Like say you make the top with a horse that's a stone front runner, and you know the whole race knows that you have to be in front, and yet there's some guy that comes out at you at the 8th pole and try, and he's your friend, and so I get professional courtesy mixed up with strategy.
But you know what I think about that? If a guy like, let's say, Campbell, O'Donnell, like Carmine, or those guys, they were professional enough. They wouldn't do that to you if you had a stone front runner. Yeah. They were never. Maybe the guy that did that to you, maybe he was your friend, but he wasn't a great driver.
Yeah,
he wasn't. Because great driver don't do that to each other.
That's the answer. One more question, Mike, then I'll let you go. This guy says, Mike, did you set a world record with Matt Scooter in 48 and 3?
Yes,
I think you did.
Yeah. Matt Scooter, I broke a few track record, and I had the world's record 48 in a time trial, and it lasts for about I think 9 years or 10 years, and I think Cam Best beat Matt Scooter's record with O'Donnell.
And the last statement comes from Nick Sedano Jr. Mike is the GOAT. That means you are the best of the best.
Well, I drove some great horses for the father, Nick Sedano's senior. He had a very, very, very good barn. When I came to the Meadowlands, I drove for him in New York too. But they were all good customer for me, and I see him all the time. A hardworking kid, and I think he's doing a great job. Because I see from time to time, I see his horses on Facebook, and they always look tremendous.
I keep trying to end this, but somebody keeps. Here's Gordon Friedman says, "Hiya, Mike, from Gordy from the Cheyenne gang. You are a great guy."
Bobby Siegelman.
But the Cheyenne gang, those
Bobby
people, they
Siegelman.
were so great for me. It was unbelievable. They treat me like a unbelievable.
That was
Very
Bobby
nice
Siegelman's
people.
owner, right?
Yep. Yep.
Siegelman's still training.
No,
He's
but I saw him at the sale at Harrisburg a week ago, and he looked great. And he told me that he's doing some work for to help the unfortunate children there. That there's and he's still just like for a hospital or something there, but he's not working anymore. He's retired.
Michael, go to sleep. I thank you so much for coming on, and I'm going to try to get the rest of the guys, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of you on at the same time. And I can't thank you enough. And good health.
I
to
tried
you.
to cover everything there, but I'm pretty sure that
There's a lot more.
there would be another 2 hours, and you know, I was, you know, I had a great life there, and I like to talk about it there. And
well, we're gonna do it again, and right after I get a hold of, I'm gonna try to get a hold of these guys. Right after Thanksgiving, I'm not gonna do it, but the following week I'll try to get O'Donnell on with Ronnie Pierce, then maybe Catello Manzi. I'll try to get Joe Rico, some of my old friends from Monticello, and then after we pay homage to all of these guys, then we'll have them all on together.
That's too bad that the Hervé is gone, because he would have been one perfect one. He would have
been a great storyteller.
Yeah, he would have
talked to us for 5 hours straight.
Yeah,
he was a funny guy, huh?
He would have.
Great guy.
I have about 100 hours worth of stories for Hervé, and he probably has 10 million hours of stories.
But you know, like you talk about the younger generation today, we can't talk too much about our generation, because they should know that harness racing now and back then, it's like day and night.
Different ball game.
Yeah, I know that they have their thing today, and then, like I said,
we had a
before,
great time.
A lot of talented young guy around, and there's a lot of people that could win a race, but it's not the same that it was.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, there was like I don't know, there was a place we used to be together every night, and
right. 70s,
you know, like,
80s, and 90s were the best.
The best,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we should be grateful that we were there.
You ain't kidding. Right place at the right time, because the business changed so much now. It's a shame, really. But
it is. But
we had a good time.
Yep.
You know, we enjoyed every day.
All right, Michael. Thank you very much.
Great to see you again, Mike.
Good night, everybody.
Great to see you, Mike.
Good night. Joe, I'll see you, Joe.